Spiral Knights podcast, hosted by Lord Hood, Lazarus Clay, and Zagreus.
Episode 64, recorded on January 26, 2014.
This is Lord Hood.
This is Zang.
And this is Lazarus Clay. And hello world, how are the peoples of the internets today? Welcome to the Arsenal of podcast where we talk about the game of Spiral Knights. And we've got a lot to talk about today, so I think we should just jump right into it.
Alright, who opened the lockbox last time?
You have the lockbox, so you had to move it out of the way to get to your thing, your bookmark.
Oh yeah, I have
before the show started.
I have the lockbox. Alright, have it here.
That is the best sound.
We have
for the lockbox.
Yes it is. Yes it is. We have a piece of paper that says imposter cube missing. I don't know what that means.
For reals this time.
Yes,
it
for
says on
reals
the back.
this
Turn it around. I can see it on the back. It says because we had that sheet in there last time, but now I guess it has. For reals this time.
It says it on the back. We have horse head in here for some reason. I hope it's not the one that the meme on Tumblr because that gets annoying. And we have a list of reasons to hate on 3 rings. Said it isn't actually listed, so let's get into that. This will be fun. This should be a fun day. This should be a fun day for everyone.
Zang, how was your week?
So, Medicine, how was your week?
But how was your week? Mission report goes something like this. Mission report, we'll just get this out of the way really quick, just where we talk about what we've done in the game of Spiral Knights and other things in the last week. I know Lord Hood did nothing because he logged on once on Steam in the past 9 days or so.
Yeah.
I know that I have not played enough to renew my weapon and trinket slot upgrades.
Yeah.
Because I've been Hearthstoning.
Yeah. I just kind of popped on and done a few of the missions and stuff. Just kind of hung around. And again, for like probably the 7th or 8th time now, someone's been asking me to join their guild. Someone completely random.
Do you know what the guild is?
I feel like I have no. I didn't even check the name of the guild. I didn't want to. Because they didn't send me a message. They just asked me and they asked me, they whispered to me.
Interesting.
They did the tell thing. Yeah. It was weird. Honestly, I don't really see myself joining a guild anytime soon, but that's really not a... And in other news, Tavakia has a new job.
Slash applaud, slash clap.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, most interesting mission report ever.
Yeah.
How's that? We should probably play the game a little bit more. I played a bunch the week before
Usually
last.
you're the one that has a lot of information to tell.
Oh, because
Maybe
I tell
you
about everything I do.
Yeah.
I just recorded...
Yeah.
I recorded a couple of things this week that will go up on the channel in 2 weeks because we've got the Spiral Knights shopping list coming out. But I already talked about that last week, and we're going to talk about it again later in the show. So, most interesting news report ever. Let's get into the news because there's a lot of it. Overheard at Warcraft Manor. From the helmet of someone who likes some creature that wires their horn to fight with or something like that.
The helmet is supposed to be resembling to a demon called
Spiral Knights news. I can't do it with a Maroka accent, but it's spelled Knews, and it's the Spiral Knights news. Anyways, yeah, we missed last week because we were out of town, so there's a bunch of stuff we got to get caught up with.
There's a lot to talk about. So just for the sake of being able to keep in some sort of routine, we'll just try and keep it so that we're going by day. So, Starting on Monday, we were reintroduced. Was it reintroduced? Reintroduced to Spiral Knights trading cards.
Well, yes.
I don't know. Did they have them out beforehand? I don't remember.
They did not have them out before. This was the first time.
They didn't.
Well,
they had
not?
the Steam.
So, on Monday they released
costumes.
Spiral Knights trading cards. I have no idea what these are because I don't keep in touch with anything, but I'm pretty sure Lord Hood and Lat will be able to tell more.
Absolutely,
Maybe.
I will tell you about it. And since you've been in game, I'm happy to pay you 2,000 to 3,000 crowns per card for every each of the 5 cards that you will get by running your game, if you'd like. So I can
I'm good.
pay you for
Thank
those
you.
if you're interested, because I will take all your cards because I want them.
For the
For the
I have no
trading
idea
cards,
if I
yep.
have any at all.
If
Am I
you don't,
supposed
you
to
will.
have them?
So again, here's how this works. This is just a Steam thing for non-Steam players. Bear with us for just 1 second. This is where you run the game of Spiral Knights and you get card drops for the game that you're running, and they introduce them for Spiral Knights. So it's a 12 card badge. If I'm not mistaken, it's a 12 card badge. Someone confirm that for me. I'm looking it up right now. I want to make sure. I'm pretty sure so you need 12 cards. You'll get 5 or 6 of them by running the game normally. Spiral Knights is a 12 card badge. So you can trade around these cards and get them for yourself, and you spend money on the market and craft these badges, and it gives you a little Spiral Knights icon that you can put with your profile. You can get some profile backgrounds on Steam, emotes, stuff like that for creating these badges, and it'll make your Steam level go up. And so for people that play Spiral Knights on Steam, there's actually a super interesting dynamic with this that I want to explain really quick, and then we'll move on, because again, this is not for the whole game, and there is other things to talk about for the whole game. But and thank you, who is that? LS Angel, who says yes, the badge you can do this 5 times to get up to level 5. Sir Jinxable has already done it, and you can see it on his profile if you go over there. But it's like Proto, Defender, Great Defender, Mighty Defender, Aegis, or something like that. I don't know what the 2 through 4 is, but you can get up to an Aegis badge is what it is, which is worth 500 experience. And where was I going with this? Oh, it's an interesting dynamic because in a lot of games, people play the game and they don't really care for the cards. They just want to play the game. So take a game like Team Fortress 2, for instance. When they introduced cards, some people created the badges. Some people just sold them into the market. They didn't really want them. They just played the game. They didn't care about the cards. Spiral Knights is a little bit different. Because if you play Spiral Knights, most people kind of like their Spiral Knights and they want at least one Spiral Knights badge. So whereas you'd expect the market to start filling up with cards, it hasn't filled up with cards. People are buying them as quickly as they're coming in. It stayed around 50 of each card in the market for the last week or so, and each of the cards is selling for about 30 cents, and it's not going down. So that's an interesting thing. I did, as soon as I got cards on Monday, I sold them, so I was like, that was about $4 a card. So I'd still be making a profit, but I'm still waiting for the card.
30 cents.
They are now, because they were rarer at the beginning, so...
Oh, that makes more sense. Okay.
Yeah, so less supply, more demand, higher price.
Yes.
So that's all. It's just interesting because the Spiral Knights card dynamic is a little different.
Jesus.
Yeah.
You could have made
Yes.
20. You could easily make. Essentially, if you get 5 or 6 cards, you can make $20 every single time you log into Spiral Knights.
Yes, but you can only get 5 cards total. That's it. You'll get 5 cards and you will never get another drop. So
you just so it's just an easy way of making a quick $20, I guess.
yes.
Does that go just into your Steam wallet then?
Yes.
Ah, okay. That might
Though
be a good
now
way to make some extra money because I'm currently sitting on $20 in my Steam wallet. And I have no idea what to do with it.
Though again, now they're down to 30 cents a card. So if you sell
Yeah, I
all
know.
5 cards that
Yeah.
you get, that's $1.50.
Some of them are
Yeah.
like 23 cents. Some of them are up to like almost 40 cents.
I saw a bunch of them were up at 50 cents yesterday.
The Dark Fang Mender is at 37 cents.
Yep.
And then Masquerade is at 43 cents.
But anyways, so that's the cards. If you're into it, that's
It's
fine.
like the
I
Spiral
will
Knights
pay you.
economy, but in Steam.
Pretty much. I will pay you 3,000 crowns per card that you would like to trade me. If you indeed have Spiral Knights cards, I will take them from you.
I will see what I have, but honestly, I don't know what I'm going to do with them anyway.
Right.
Oh,
If I
yeah.
do end
And
up
that applies
selling
to any.
them, it's fine.
That applies to anyone in the listening audience too. But that was that. Both Wednesdays this past week, there were behind the scenes patches, and that's all we got. We got this more behind the scenes changes. People who are astute and like to break the rules of the terms of service went into the game files and saw different things in there that changed up the game. No spoilers here. You can, if you know the right places to look, you can see what actually changed. For the normal person, quote unquote, behind the scenes changes.
Yep. Super Mega Tortodrone that flies.
Well, the Tortodrone always flew.
Oh,
And
right.
then-
Yeah, I remember seeing that on somebody posted that. That's not nice when people do that because that ruins the fun for everyone else.
Well, those were the pictures that Spiral Knights actually posted those officially.
Okay.
Oh,
But yep.
Okay.
But we'll get to that in a second. First of all, 2 Wednesdays ago, there was also the new Rose Regalia sets. And so these are the Neon Knights.
The Macalite, the Moonstone, and the toxic one.
Is it Macalite or Malachite?
The Virulent. I'm going to call it Virulent because I can.
Anyways, Garnet.
Because can.
Garnet.
The
Garnet,
Sparrow
that's right.
Knights
The-
foil
aka the
cards
poison.
are like $6.
There's the poison one, the
around.
fire one, and then the moon one.
Yep. So these were new, kind of glowing, darker themed. Well, the base color was darker, and the highlights were white, orange, red, and neon green. So new Rose Regalia for everyone for the new year.
Oh, I thought
That
it was
promotion-
Macalite. Perfect.
That promotion came and went.
Yeah.
So looks nice if you like to be a glowing knight. That's cool. It doesn't
And they're
actually give off
expensive
light.
as heck on the auction house, but that's not a surprise.
Of course they are, because you get one or two for every $10 you spent, so they're worth about $10. So, Neon. Could have gotten those between the Wednesday of the 15th of January through the 20th of January. The promotion is obviously now over, seeing as how this is the 26th.
Yes, and now the only way to get one is if you happen to be lucky enough to find one on the auction house for a metric buttload of crowns.
Something like that. Granted,
Yeah.
it made all the other ones go cheaper, which is good for me
True.
in my hunt for the Violet chap.
Oh,
Yeah, it's Malachite, Garnet, and Moonstone.
yeah, that. I thought it was Macalite. I don't know why, but that Malachite sounds a bit more opponent.
Malachite's name. They're all names of stones, I guess.
Yeah.
So Moonstone might be a stone.
Yes, Moonstone is a stone.
Aside from
Is it actually a
Neon.
legitimate stone? I think
Yes.
it is.
Well,
The
I know-
same way Lapis Lazuli is an actual gem, not just a Minecraft
No, I
invention.
know that.
Malachite's- Yeah, Malachite's green and Garnet's are red.
Except
but I don't
Lapis
know what
Lazuli
those
is
are.
absolutely useless.
And Moonstone is white, thus the red, green, and white things.
Yeah.
Which
I've
you'd
always-
think would be Christmassy, but it's actually
Christmas!
not.
Yeah, I've always
Moving
preferred
on.
Labradorite to
On
Malachite.
Thursday,
but, well,
we happened to lose somebody who apparently was able to keep up with the forums, or at least try to. We lost Nick.
We lost Nick.
We lost
No
Nick.
amount of defibrillating is going to bring him back.
Nope.
Cue the sad music while Lord Hood cries into the microphone.
let's do the,
I
the
can't
sad
play
violin music.
All right. Well, oh gosh! Stop, please. No, so bad. All right. So here's the analysis on this. I don't know why the link's not in the show notes, but it will be when I type "link" in all capitals here. All the links to all the forum posts and stuff where this news was announced will be in the show notes. There's going to be a massive show notes this week, you guys. So enjoy that. That can be found on our website, sklayelite.com/arsenal, which actually will be changing soon.
I
It will
think
be
he might
Arsenal
have. I
Podcast.
don't know. I honestly think he might have. I think it could have been either or Zeddy. What do you guys think? Do you think he might have quit, or do you think it was fired?
He quit.
I think he quit.
Yeah, it
His-
seems more appropriate that he quit because honestly, where Spiral Knights was going, I don't think Nick's ideals were kind of being quote unquote fulfilled. Maybe I don't know.
I think it's because here's my guess. My guess is he set things in the right direction. Now he's got the Arcade Redux in motion. He's kind of got the game, and he's going to take his hands off of it because he's been working on the game for all of 7 years.
Yes.
And you try working on a project for 7 years and see if you don't get burned out on it. Considering the amount of change that Spiral Knights has gone through, there's an accelerated amount of change and a lot of fun. You could see Nick was really engaged with the community and all this stuff at the beginning, and it slowly just begins to taper off because
Yeah.
I don't want to... I mean, that's not half my... That's a third of my lifetime. Like, I wouldn't have wanted to spend a third of my life running this game that hasn't had huge change. But he has left 3 rings completely, is that he's saying he's pursuing independent design. Granted, he was... Yeah, it should be interesting.
He turned into 3 Rings Illuminati, where he just sits in the background and controls it.
He's not gone, though, is the other thing. He's not dead. And
No.
yes, if you want more Nick Popovich in your life, twitter.com/Nick Popovich. You can follow him. I'm sure he'll be posting the things that he begins to work on, and you can pursue him. Best of which is to the everyone's favorite Imposta Cube.
Yep.
And I'm looking in the chat because people are saying very interesting things that they should have never mind.
Yeah.
So that's that. It was kind of interesting that 2 weeks ago we did have a Nick seems to be gone discussion. To
And
be
then
followed
right after
by,
that, he
It's like
Yeah,
he seems
like-
to have disappeared off the face of the earth, and then suddenly he comes back to just tell us, "I'm going to take my leave now."
and he did resign from Three Rings itself, not just Spiral Knight's team stuff.
Yeah.
So it's all the games Three Rings produces.
And I would like to clarify something real quick. You can see Nick, he actually posted his resignation letter on the forums. I honestly didn't have too much of a thought about it. And then I went to youtube.com/buttonmashempire and watched Moroka's Spiral Spiel on Goodbye Nick, and basically everything that I've said, he said first, Moroka said first, so I do want to give credit where credit's due. So,
You stole my.
thanks for
spiral
letting
letter,
me
right?
Thanks for letting me copy off of that, but I was going to mention that because...
It's under announcements.
Yeah.
So
Yes, his letter's on announcements.
Nick's last.
So
post.
Nick is gone. I'm having flashbacks of the Minecraft thing because I used to follow the Minecraft community a bit closer when Notch, Marcus Pearson, the creator of the game, handed it off to the team so he could work on independent design. He didn't leave his company like Nick did, but it is reminiscent.
Yeah, it is what it is, I guess.
Anyways, so there's something where people are saying, Nick is jumping a sinking ship. I don't know. But the following Wednesday comes...
It was rage. Sort of.
Following Wednesday. And the Gunner update gets delayed once again.
Mm-hmm.
Dun,
Yay.
dun, dun. And the basic gist of this is simply that they set another target date, not a promise, not a release date. They set a target date, and they still couldn't meet it, which I think is fine. They had about a month's worth in the last 2 months to work on it because holidays were a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so now it comes to the time when they said, we're not ready for it. We want it to be polished. We want it to look good so that you don't come after us with your hate and rage over the bugs in the update.
They're
Yeah.
actually using their heads this time. They're trying to think around what their audience wants.
And so, also I think smartly, they said, we're not going to actually give a target date this time because it's kind of the community's taking it as an empty promise. Where it really isn't a promise whatsoever. It's a target. It's saying, the community says, communicate with us. And they said, okay, we're working on this. It's going to have some of this in it. And we're shooting for this date. Whoops, it didn't have some of these features. Whoops, it didn't come out on this date. And the whole community goes up in flames and gets really mad.
Yeah.
And so, we're not going to do that anymore. Here, we'll give you...
The community is not responsible enough to handle the information that Three Rings has.
Basically.
Yeah, it's not capable of handling whether or not date is going to come out or not, so they just they go childish essentially on Three Rings and whine
Indeed.
and complain because they believe that is what gets them what they want.
Well, I guarantee, like you said, if they released it like when people wanted it to be released, then there would be
It would
bugs
have
in
been,
it, and
yeah,
then
it
they'd
probably would have been
complain.
broken, distorted, and people would have complained that it wasn't perfect.
The
and
same people who
essentially
are
that just
complaining
creates a
that it
big
doesn't.
go-around.
Yeah.
Nobody wins.
And at this point, no amount of water fountains in Firestorm Citadel is going to douse the community at this point. But doused they must be, because you will not have a Gunner update in January, and now you will no longer know when it comes out at all. Twinkle of the fingers.
Yes. Well, I mean, yeah, it's funny. They've done okay with the guns that they have now for years, so they can handle a couple more months or weeks or whatever with the same guns that they've had.
Of course.
I'm just going to keep my waiting on when they release new battle sprites. So this Gunner update's probably just going to go over my head.
I
The
get the
Tortodrone's going to be
impression that-
nice. The Tortodrone's going to be nice when they finally do re-include it, but I'm just going to keep waiting for what I'm waiting for. That way I don't have any fallen expectations.
I wouldn't be surprised if we get some more content than just the new guns with the Gunner update, to be honest. I feel like missions and other things might be a part of it. If only because I don't see...
Gunner-specific missions would be interesting.
Yeah, well, they were talking
We're not
about...
talking about spoilers, Clipic. We're just
Yeah.
talking about the fact that the Gunner
Speculation.
update is delayed again.
Yeah, this is that we're not saying anything that Three Rings hasn't said already if you follow the forums, and we haven't talked about on the show already. But they say they've got this pot mixing with one hand, Arcade Redux, right? This post-Tier 3. In the other hand, we're mixing some Gunner update. The chances of them splashing on each other a little bit to complete that analogy, I can see happening. I'm not saying it will happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see like Arcade Redux Mini Part 2, like Part 1.5 with the Gunner update, where we get some more changes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Would not be surprised. But not
Clipping
all
wants
hope
to
is
know
lost.
if we can talk about Tortodrones.
Absolutely, let's talk about Tortodrones. The second half of the update of what's coming up for Sparrow Knights, besides the not Gunner update, is Pro Tortodrone, which is not out yet. But Eurydice said, in addition to work processing on the Gunner update, our art and level design folks are hard at work on the Tortodrone and accompanying levels. Another reason why I think Gunner update and Tortodrone / accompanying levels might splash a little bit.
Yeah.
And they have supplied a preliminary peek for you, which if you go to the thread, and I will post it here, in the rare somehow chance that you haven't seen it, there you go. It's 2 levels that have got Tortodrone stuff in them, and it's kind of cool.
It's a giant man turtle that fires missiles out of its knuckles. What can go wrong with that?
Oh, and it rolls around like a giant boulder. I think it can do that too. Right?
I've never seen it do that, I don't think. It charges. It might do new things, I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I know it charges, but I feel like it would be kind of cool if it rolled, because it's kind of a big ball.
Mm-hmm.
But it would also be
I'm-
kind of stupid, considering it's supposed to hover. I think it's supposed to
Alright.
fly of some kind. Anyway.
Yep. Here's a couple of things that I want to make note about the observations that I've made, and you guys can comment on them if you want. A, they are getting their own levels. There will be Tortodrone dedicated levels. Someone asked me earlier, do you think Tortodrone will be the next boss after Fanaduke?
I
And I
don't
say,
think so.
no.
Well, previously they were just...
Tortodrones are essentially like, kind of like a slightly toughened Trojan. You can't assume that they're going to be a boss, because they never really were a boss. Cyborg, shut up.
Yeah. At best, a mini boss. I mean, they're more...
Yeah, maybe a
they're a
mini
lot
boss.
harder than a Trojan.
Kind of
but-
like, what's his name
Yeah.
in Heart of Ice?
Yes,
Argus? No. Yeah, Argus?
In Heart of Ice is Mollis.
Yes,
Mollis.
but
And then Argus, I think, in the Silent Legion.
Yes.
They were technically mini bosses.
Indeed. The second thing here, in the first picture, is there is this little, like,
I
spherical
didn't say Vanna crap.
pentagram.
I said a Tortodrone.
Okay.
yeah. Well,
Well,
previously,
Yeah, I don't know what he's
the
talking about.
Tortodrone just wandered around
saying.
without any
That
specific
bothers
level.
me. Is he even listening?
You know what? Let's just stop.
Okay.
If you're gonna quote the chat, if you're gonna talk to the chat, be sure to say what the chat says so that people
I'm
that
sorry.
are listening
I'm
can't.
sorry.
But in any case, the other thing is, the other major thing of note here is there are purple bomb blocks now, purple explosive blocks, which assumptively deal shadow damage as opposed to elemental. It is also worthy of note that the other bomb block there looks... I call it a bomb block because it's more fun to say, but the explosive block is what they're called. The explosive blocks that look like normal explosive blocks in this picture are actually a bit more glowy than the normal ones, which makes me think they might be piercing. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Or more explosive damage or something. I don't know.
But
Perhaps.
yeah, so there are these like purple respawnable blocks on there. So
Well, there is a precedent because, the exploding jelly cubes come in purple as well. So
Yeah.
that is true. And the last thing to note is the pictures seem to be in progression. If you pull up the pictures right now, you can look at them. There's 2 of them. The first one shows a knight approaching a room with the party button and some bomb blocks. The second room appears to be that room with the bomb blocks in it, and you're fighting the Tortodrone. Which makes me think that at least for these missions, Tortodrone doesn't come from natural random spawning. Tortodrone comes from standing on the party button, which is different than it was before.
yeah, but
Yeah.
previously the Tortodrone would you'd find it wandering around, and if it's
And
a
then
party
if you
button
provoked
spawn,
it, well, it killed you
yeah.
violently.
If it's a party button spawn, then it'll probably attack you immediately. 'Cause
Yes.
Previously, it was just wandering around minding its own business until you stabbed it in the foot.
It was the violent version of any other of the rare monsters that you could find in the Clockworks. It was the most dangerous one. With the most rewards, albeit, because Omega Shell is fun.
Stone tortoise.
Yep.
But anyway, or Stone
4-star.
Tortoise, thank you.
No, it's the stone tortoise.
Although it
and then you
didn't
level it
always
up
drop
into
that
the
anyway.
other thing.
The Omega Shell.
Yeah, the Omega Shell.
So that's it for Tortodrone, one of Lord Hood's favorite monsters of all times. But
Yes.
there you
Yeah,
go.
I'm
should be
pretty sure once I
everyone's
fight
favorite.
it, I'm probably gonna enjoy it because those things, basically, based on what I've seen and heard from the pages, they definitely seem like they were a good inclusion, and why they removed them is beyond me. But it'll be nice to see them back.
They're not something you want to mess with solo. I'll
Yeah,
tell you
I
that
know
for sure.
that. Considering the
They'll
fact that
just
the first
stomp on
time I
you.
saw them in actual movement, there were at least 2 people fighting it. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they like stepping on knights and crushing them to death. So
Yeah, it's Malos mixed.
Like crickets.
It's Malos mixed with 2 rocket puppies that can move around and walk and shoot rockets at you. And it appears it can also spike the ground from these pictures, much like Arcus.
Like
so it's Arcus
stop.
plus
So
Malos plus
2 rocket puppies.
2
it
rocket
does a
puppies.
stompy thingy, and then it sends out the
And it
spikes.
shoots fire out of its armpits too. So
The armpits, definitely the armpits. Bless you.
Thank you.
So that's the Tortodrone. No more is known about that, and we will not speculate further. But fun
On
stuff.
The following day,
the dead
We were born to the
Tortodrones
year of
or
the
whatever
horse.
have been showing up for a long time.
What's that, Hood?
Well, I mean the scenario type rooms have been showing up for a long time, where the dead Tortodrone or whatever it is, like the Tortodrone shell or whatever shed it is. I don't know.
Indeed. And you can still see those scenario rooms around the place.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly, I did notice this week because I recorded them, and I was in a beast jelly stratum. Well, beasts and jellies accompany them. I noticed that the Tortodrone appears in beast and jelly levels. A bunch. And I don't remember if it appears in other levels or not.
Well,
I
previously
think it would appear in like
appeared in
areas
any
where there are
Clockworks.
machines.
Yeah, no, the scenario room with the dead,
Yeah.
well, with the overgrown Tortodrone to
Yep.
replace the prize room.
It's usually beast, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it
noticed
is. They
these.
usually are arranged like so that they're outside.
What is Tortodrone? Is it beast
I think it's a machine.
or is it construct?
Yeah, it's construct.
It's a construct.
Construct beast.
Which is a crossover because then you've got a monster from each of the 3 categories of classes. Fiends and undead go together. Wolvers and slimes go together. Gremlins and constructs go together. That's how they appear in a level. You've got beasts, slimes, and construct mingling. We don't know how it's going to work.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
wait for 3
It'll be
weeks on that one. Should be fun. And yes, as Zhang said, this last Thursday, the year of the horse is upon us. Let's all put on our horse heads and be
We
annoying
talked
internet
about
people.
this a couple weeks
I'd rather
ago.
not be an annoying internet person. I just wanted to try and see if I could get one of the warden armors, but then I realized that it doesn't really fit well with my hood. So it
Among the
makes me
things that
sad.
were added to this update were permanent Trojan heads, so you can look like a chess piece forever. You can actually look like a knight, like from chess. There is the baleful aura, which these are thanks to HRPB because I hadn't seen these before today, but HRPB shared. And the baleful aura appears to be a darker hued love aura without the hearts. It's just a purple glow. There's a Trojan tail, which is like the plume accessory, except it's on your butt instead of on the back of your head.
Yeah.
And then there's the ruinous crystal, which is this giant shard sticking out of your butt instead of a tail.
I'd like to get that.
Zhang, you may need to plug your mic back in or something. You sound very far away, or like you're talking through
There we
lots
go.
of glass. Hey, there you go.
Well, I had my thing up because my microphone up because I was trying to clean out my nose because I was sneezing.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
So,
You're forgiven.
anyways, there you go. On an interesting note, this may or may not mean anything because we did have updates on every Wednesday, but not all of these game-altering updates were on Wednesdays. So, whether this means no mandated Wednesday updates or not, we don't know at
The
this
Battle
point.
Sprites update wasn't on Wednesday, was it?
It's true.
It was on like a Friday. Wasn't
So, that's interesting.
Yes.
Monday? I can't remember when it went up, the
Yeah.
Battle Sprites update. But anyway, so that's just a thought, the only other observation we have. And that's the Spiral Knight news. That's all the stuff. Year of the Horse. Are you guys going to get anything, you think? Zane,
I'm
we heard from you.
considering. I am considering trying to see what I can get off the auction house, but if not, I might be willing to spend the $10 to get the energy and the 1 colossal box.
A
Possibly.
0.5% chance that you get a, what's the crystal? That is a, let me see the statistics here. Show me
Just
statistics.
anything, because that's essentially what I was working with when I got, I mean, heck, if I got the plume tail, I'd be happy. If I got anything, I'd honestly be pleased. I just don't want to get the helmet because I'm honestly content with my hood.
And the prismatic plume-tail, you have a 1 in... So a 0.5% chance is a 0.0055 out of 1,000. So it's a 1 in 200 chance. So you could spend $2,000 and guarantee yourself 1 crystal or tail.
It wouldn't even guarantee it because it's
be
probability.
willing to do that. I think I will just
Probably
stick
guarantee
with
it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to stick with the auction house.
There would be 100% probability.
Oh, hey, that's cute. I like that.
All right.
HRPB posted a link in the chat that is basically cradle cooking with me and Betty. And I like it. It's
That's
entertaining.
cool.
Yes, it is.
All right, then.
I think that's the
Well,
first
there's-
time a decent image of myself. Like I'm going to save that. I want to save this image. This is awesome. I'm entertained by this.
Well, if you're so entertained and we've spent more than 5 seconds on it, let me copy-paste it into the show notes so everyone else can see it, too.
Yay.
Copy.
Cradle
This
cooking
is-
with Zhang and Betty.
HRP. All right. HRP PB art thing. Okay.
Herp art.
Herp art.
Herp,
Herp
derp,
art.
derpy derp.
Herp art.
All right. Transmutations.
Transmutations.
This bumper really does tell the story of the fastest transmutation ever. Collecting heat and then crafting a level 10 item just like that.
Yeah.
And it also means that he got a successful 100% on his forged item. But, whatever. Okay. So, transmutations is where we talk about what we want to see added to the game of Spiral Knights. We're not going to spend too long in here because we spent the entire show here 2 weeks ago with Pronius. It got the episode its title name, Studying Transmutations. But there were 2, after all that 2 weeks ago, last episode, that we didn't get to, and those are these. And the first one is Glacies, and he suggests that a balance for the Cold Iron Vanquisher, which is basically a useless sword that has no real purpose in life, because it is less damage than the Leviathan Blade. It's normal, and it has damage bonus versus undead. But if you want undead, you use a Brandish, because it has the same swing style and a better charge and does more damage, because it's elemental damage. So, Glacy says, so we should balance this and make it actually a viable weapon by making it able to kill zombies within Grim Totems. Within Grim Totem spawn range, where it respawns the zombies, if you land the final blow with the Cold Iron Vanquisher, the zombies would stay dead.
That would make sense.
With
to me,
just
actually. It
with just
vanquishes
the
zombies.
sorry, with just the charge attack or within the regular swing.
I think with the regular swing.
Okay,
But, I honestly like the idea, because it would actually...
it does sound good. It would actually give the Cold Iron Vanquisher some form of use.
It's incredibly gimmicky, and I imagine the only place you'd see it is maybe
But then again, so
Firestorm
is the
Citadel.
Cautery Sword.
Yeah, but no one uses the Cautery Sword.
Exactly.
But if they were to change this, I'd imagine you'd start seeing some people use it in, say, Legion of Almire to put down bombies so that they don't respawn. But beyond that, still even, maybe not. I feel like a Brandish does a better job.
I feel like in that case, what it could do... What if striking an enemy with the Cold Iron Vanquisher puts like a status on them for a few seconds? If they are killed within the time of that few seconds within the Grim Totem, they don't get back up.
So you have to hit them once to mark them for death, and then hit them again to kill them?
It could essentially be like for team, like that way. Because here's the issue that I have with the Bombi thing. Because you get close to them and they go off. You hit them once, they go off. So
right, so you want to hit them once.
What if you hit them, mark them with the status, and then when they blow up themselves, because the status is still active on them, they stay dead?
I see. Oh, so it's just basically a death mark,
Yes.
a literal death mark, where if you die while you're hit with this, you're dead for good. Yeah,
But it only works on undeads. So that way it actually keeps it working with the whole ID here.
Yeah,
I
that
could
makes sense.
absolutely see that. Actually, yeah. Maybe. Probably. I'd like to see that change, because Cold Iron Vanquisher is pointless, and it has a point. It looks cool.
Yeah, it's actually kind of pointless, literally, too. It looks kind of blunt, big, heavy.
Yeah, I guess this is true.
HRPB seems to have an interesting idea. He says, if you're in the radius of the totem, you summon 3 Vanquisher Knights, and they vanish when you leave the totem.
When you are wielding the sword?
When you're wielding the sword. I guess.
So what happens if I switch weapons?
I think if you
switch
switch weapons, they
back?
disappear.
So
And then
switch,
if you
switch.
if you switch and switch, then yes, they keep popping up and down out of the ground.
I don't think the Spiral Knight servers want to handle that. Also, that would
I
add
don't think they
3
could.
entities. That would add 3 entities to your world. So because each knight would count as
So
an
if you're
entity.
going through the graveyard,
Exactly.
that kind of stuff.
Suddenly 12
4 phantoms.
Phantoms. Yeah, 4 extra
Yeah.
phantoms. 3 extra phantoms.
3 extra.
9 phantoms!
So you're soloing with your 3 Mecha Knights because you're a noob, so you already have 5 phantoms following you. Then you use this, and so you have 8 phantoms.
So what if you have a
Oh,
party of 4,
God.
or you party of 4 people, all with 3 Mecha Knights, and all with Battle Sprites,
So that's
and then all of you activate your Cold Iron Vanquishers.
So that's 16 plus 12 is 28 plus 1 is 29 phantoms. Which would be quite the thing.
Don't
So
worry
let's-
about the zombies. The phantoms are going to give you enough of a challenge.
That would be like
And
a tidal
recon
wave of
flares.
phantoms.
Don't forget
Yeah,
recon
recon
flares.
flares. Okay.
Yeah.
So
You know
if
what?
you set them all,
You know what? I picked one of those up the other day when I was going through Firestorm Citadel. I didn't use it at all, and it made me sad.
Death marking Vanaduke is fun. If you
Yeah.
can do it.
If you can do it.
But yeah, it was fun. I death marked some gun puppies and then killed them with my Barber's Thornblade because it did normal damage, because death marks remove all defense. So that was fun. Anyways, that's Glacey's idea. I'd support that one. I'd get
Yeah,
behind
it'd be
that.
cool. It'd be cool.
The other thing is Snakes is F-17 because he's like Sky Scythe, where he's evil and such. And this is where if a vial breaks over your head, say you walk into a spike while you got a vial over you, or you get hit by an enemy or something like that, when the vial breaks over your head, there's a chance that it inflicts the status on you. Which would just, to me, make vials even less of a reason to use. Like, why would I use this if there's also... It does very little. Granted, it applies the strongest status in the game. It applies a +6 status, which you can't do outside of the game. But then if it gets hit on you, that's a +6 status on you. Which is just kind of awful.
Yeah, curse.
Snakes is
curse
asking
vial.
if we talked about the stupid glass sword that he made. I think
Yes,
we talked
we
about
did.
that the last show.
Yes,
Yeah.
we did, and it wasn't the best, because there'd be
No,
no
it's
reason
not.
to use it.
Yeah.
Similarly, if this update were if we were to get vials that broke over our heads and inflicted the status on us as they break over our heads, just less reason to use vials.
Could you end up with a
Yes.
full minute of curse if you had 3 curse vials break over your head?
Oh, jeez.
Possible.
Don't even.
And then did a Grand Frost charge?
If you curse and then curse again, it resets the timer to whatever vulnerability you have to curse. It doesn't add
Well,
stat to it.
That would kind of be bad for me, because I have to wait like 50 seconds for my curse to
Chaos
stop.
Chaos Cloak, 3 curse vials, and like Grand Frost.
Yeah,
Isn't that
that'd be a
like-
full 60 seconds of curse. And all your weapon slots.
And
And all your
vials.
vial slots. And your battle sprite, too, for good measure.
Yeah.
Yeah, battle sprites don't get cursed, which is nice.
Oh,
You know.
It
yes.
is nice.
They probably
Anyways.
could be silenced, though.
That if battle sprites were more used,
Yes.
then I'd say yes, silence is viable. At
Is
this
it
point, if they
sad
added
that at
silence,
time- It's
Go ahead.
Is it sad that at times I forget to use Venus? I forget
No.
I forget that I have the ability to shoot poisonous spikes at my enemies and
I
create
do
a
too.
miasmic cloak that does very little damage.
yeah, pretty much.
Blither
Oh,
Paladin, what does that hashtag mean? Hashtag Zang is big. I don't know what that means.
You're big in the world. Like, people know you. You're popular.
That explains why people keep asking me to join their guilds.
There
I
you
want
go.
to remain a mercenary, people. Jeez.
Yeah, I've tried it before too. If you go guildless into Haven, you'll instantly get flooded by, and you're like 5-star. You'll instantly get flooded by guild
We are
invitations.
a community of 5-star knights that promote PvP, though we're never in it and never on the leaderboards, and like running FSC, and we have this TeamSpeak channel, and you should totally join our guild. Is that not every guild advertisement in
That's
the
not
world?
what I usually hear. Usually I just get a message in my inbox that says join my guild, or someone tells me / whispers to me, hey, can you join my guild? And I just blatantly tell them no. Or when I'm feeling really cheeky, I ask them why. Just so I can see their answer.
All
And
right.
HRPB
Well,
says he just invited me to his guild. HRPB, it's not that I don't like you. I'm just gonna stay out of a guild right now. I'm
la, 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 la.
la 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 la.
Spiral Order Recon. I got it. Yikes. Spiral Order Recon, or SOAR, is Spiral Knights related media. We've got some cool stuff here.
I'll
So
post
just
these
kick
in
it
the.
Thanks very much. First one is Galaxy Invaders Art Commission, Dean Zaid, who I don't know who that knight is, but this is cool. Galaxy Invader is a great artist. There's even more cool stuff on his DeviantArt page, which you can check out if you'd like, but yeah, it looks nice. I like this guy's
I gotta
style
look at this first. I didn't see it yet.
of coloring. All of the links for this spiral...
Oh,
Looks nice, don't it?
it blends very well. The whole costume works. Something tells me that's his knight in game.
Possibly, probably. Yeah, it's art commission, so probably not.
Oh, well,
Yes,
that too.
an art commission done
Alright, I got
for
the next
Dayon 268. So,
Yes.
anyways, there you go. Looks nice. Links to all of these will be on our website, as usual, which, as I said, skylight.com/arsenal is the website. Next one is Shoey's A New Stranger in Town, which, come on, crossovers. If there's a crossover that's of any decent quality, we've got to feature it, because crossovers are kind of
Is
cool.
it a link? Is it a link night? Yes, it is. It's a
Of
link.
course it is.
Which makes sense.
It's dangerous to go low and take this. Yep.
Is
It's
he
like
giving him a spark of life? I'm assuming he gives him a spark of life.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a Triforce of Power.
It is dangerous to go alone without that.
It is very
Even
true.
with an emergency revive. Anyway.
Yep. So there you go. Next one is HRPB's Who Said Knights Can't Wield Blight Sabers? And I misspelled wield, but that will be fixed. Wield. There we go. This should be animated, and it would be awesome. Someone should animate the lightsaber battle between these
Those
guys
are
wielding
really big lightsabers.
these giant red and green Grand Foss or Divine Adventures. And they're gigantic, but the posing and stuff looks nice. It's a basic
and
pose,
if that was
but
animated, that would be awesome.
There's a lightsaber in Warehouse 13.
there you go. It's like a bunch of knights looking at these guys as they like lightsaber through Haven, and they're like cutting off clotheslines and stuff like this. It'd be a fun little animation project. Be painful as all get out, but you know, still be cool. Hundreds of hours. But yes, as Cliffic says and Snake says, that looks epic. Kinda does. And lastly, if you haven't seen this, this is a bit of self-promotion, but this is the Spiral Knights Network Spiral Knights shopping list trailer. And if you don't know, the Spiral Knights Network is the Square Elite channel, the Arsenal Podcast YouTube channel. It is Sir Jinxable / Solotron. It is Chalk 3 Gameplay Flicks, and it is Button Mash Empire Maroka. And that's what we've got right now. But this is just the videos, the Spiral Knights community video makers that are together and talk and work on things, and they've come together to make this project called the Shopping List. And as we speak, there are plans for a second, better one. But this is a trailer for the first one. Episodes start tomorrow. I think I can say that without spoiling anything, so keep an eye out for that. The first episode of Spiral Knights Shopping List will be coming tomorrow. If you haven't seen it, you should. There's the trailer. The hype train cannot be stopped. There you go.
Woo woo.
I guess that's that.
Yes.
Once more time, all the links will be in the show notes. All right. Bazaar. Banter. Bazaar Banter is a discussion on a line of weapons or gear. And we kind of got through all those, so now we're going to costumes, and we've got the list of all the hunter gear this week, because stuff.
Essentially
That's
all
what's
the
next
green
in line.
leafy things.
Yeah, you don't see people using these much anymore. A, because they're rare and you can't get them anymore. B, because it looks like you barfed on yourself from head to toe. And that's that.
Yeah.
So,
Hunter confetti.
The only
and
thing that people
leafy
would probably
aura.
buy that's a hunter is the leafy aura that came with it.
yeah, which isn't
Which
even
makes it funny
exactly
because
hunter.
which makes it funny because it's not under the same name as the hunter gear.
Yes, this is true.
Yes.
It's like
So
I'm
this
going
is
to be
just-
independent.
This was the first set of, like, themed reskins, wasn't it? It
Yeah.
was.
Oh,
This was the first
did
set of,
Hallow-
like-
No, I think the Hallow came before that,
Did
and
it?
the Frosty too.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
it was the
kidding.
first. So it was the first non-holiday theme skin coming out.
There you go. Anyway, it can be cute in certain circumstances. It is. It's just green. It's like the Wolvers and the Pith helm, like the Proto armors and a few
Yeah.
other things, scale mails, plate helms that are all green. So you could hide in Haven, okay, I guess.
You can, yeah. What could blend well with it? Well, if you use Chromalisk stuff like as a costume, I think it might work really well.
That could be. But it is what it is. I don't think
It
it's
is.
accessible anymore. I don't think it ever will be accessible anymore. So for all you people that
because
played
it's
in year 1 of going on year 2 of Spiral Knights, you got some hunter gear, baby, possibly.
Which you'll never ever wear.
What was it originally for? Did it come with an energy pack or?
It was
Yeah,
one of those
it was,
promotions. Oh, right,
you-
I know what it is.
You could buy them for 3,500 energy on the what's it called? There's a supply depot, and then you could also get 1 to 4 boxes depending on how much money you spent for energy.
Right, this was the one where it was the wild pack or something like that. So it had the
Yeah.
hunter stuff, it had the leafy stuff. This was where the
think you get
vertical
tails,
vents
too.
first. Yeah, tails, vertical vents first came out, like the bunny ears and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's why like extra vertical vents and stuff like that are so
Yeah.
rare now, because that was the only time when they came out. They don't come out anymore. So
Those things.
yeah, LOL, extra vertical vents, extrovert vents.
Bunny ears.
So there you go. Yeah, it doesn't seem like any of us own any hunter gear. Is that
No.
true?
And
might
honestly,
have,
I
like,
couldn't
a
see myself wearing it because the green color is
costume
just.
piece or something.
It seems to scream to me, look at me. I'm here, and I'm green.
Although it kind of runs
And that
with
just
a
doesn't
ghillie
sit
suit.
well with me. Especially when Lat says it looks like somebody barfed on your armor. It looks like you
You're
were
welcome.
ingested. You were ingested by the Snarlax, sat in its stomach fluids for a bit, and spat back out. That's why it's called the Hunter.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Or you like were covered in honey and they didn't have any tars. I mean,
Oh,
they-
God.
you were tarred and feathered except with leaves instead of feathers.
Otis
Otis
said,
Fett. Yeah.
I'm a moving piece of grass.
That's funny.
Yeah. Well, if you ever are in a situation where your knight needs to be stealthy in a field or something, and you can crawl through it in hunter gear.
There you go. Though Tavakia also says it's less bile and more Mountain Dew.
That is true. It dows have more of a Mountain Dewish color, though. Squirt's white.
Green jello.
Squirt is a
kiwi.
white soda. It's a kind of like Serum Mist.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Which is actually
it's kind of
awesome, by the
it's
way.
the Mountain Dew. It's the Mountain Dew gear. Do you do the Hunter gear?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I don't do Mountain Dew, but I do Serum Mist Natural because that's actually real drink. So there you go.
I don't always do with DEW armor, but when I do DEW, it's Hunter gear.
There you go. Nice. All right. Next week we're going to be talking about the Surge gear, which is possibly a little bit more awesome, but let's not say anything else on that.
We shall not speak of it.
We
Not
shall
yet,
not speak of
anyways.
it until next Sunday.
Ladies and gentlemen, your unique variants.
Unique Variants is a wrap-up of the show. We're just going to complete everything. There are some things here that haven't been said, that will be said, But the first one is we do have a music video contest running. This is running until the end of February. You can take one of the apparently badly tuned Christmas carols parodies that we wrote for Spiral Nights. You can make a music video of any specificity or professionalness, words of them, and post them and give us the link. And if you have no competition, you automatically win. We have 3,000 energy to give away, thanks to Pronius of the Night's Watch. So if you are the only person to enter, and you enter for one song, that's 3,000 energy for you. Seeing as how apparently most people hate the songs, saying that they aren't done very well, make a video that's hateable that isn't done very well. And
Yeah. Well, I thought they were the best Christmas Spiral Night songs anywhere ever.
I'd say so, because no one else does them. Hello.
Yeah.
So
Like,
there you go.
true.
It's like you're in a small town and there's like one diner that sells crappy coffee, and you can always complain about it, but it's the only place to get coffee for 100 miles. So you drink it or you don't.
I love that analogy. That's great. But anyways, so there you go. That contest ends. There will be a link to find out how to enter and all that stuff in the show notes. You can do it with Spiral Spy. It can be a slideshow. It can be an animation. It can be a video. It can be gameplay. It just has to be related to the song in some way. The link in the chat will have to be highlighted, copied, and pasted because it does not actually hyperlink the whole thing. So that is on our forums. The other thing, well, one of the other things, is that very soon, if not this week, and if so, we will give an announcement of it, our domain name will be changing. We're not going to be Sklayelite anymore because Sklayelite is not really a thing anymore.
It's defunct.
It is defunct at the time. The only thing that's still going to remain Sklayelite, most likely, is the YouTube channel, because we can't change that one. But everything else is going to turn into Arsenal Podcast SK. So that will be it. It's going to be a bit longer, albeit, but you just got to go to arsenalpodcastsk.com, and it'll be there instead of sklayelite.com / all this other stuff.
/ Arsenal Podcast / forum /
So you can change the name of the YouTube channel. You cannot change the link, so you cannot change the username. Ours, youtube.com /user /Sklayelite. We're not big enough, like they wouldn't recognize us for changing it to Arsenal Podcast SK. So that's the thing that'll be happening. So you can email us at arsenalpodcast. That's sk.com, which is going to be weird to say as opposed to sklayelite.com, but you know, that's the thing. Cyborg Rocks, you didn't hear the first part of this episode. He said, hey, the Gunner update should be out before the next episode. Lol. Go check the news again, my friend. Yeah, Tavaki, I wouldn't hold my breath. So that may be happening. Don't worry about your bookmark changing and stuff. Sklayelite will still exist. It will just auto-direct you to Arsenal Podcast SK. So, we may shorten it to Arsenal Cast SK. We gotta figure out how we're gonna do that. But that's just some logistical things that are happening behind the walls, I suppose. Also, be on the lookout for the Spiral Night shopping list. Those episodes will be going up this week. You can check out the perspectives of the 3 teams at the 3 YouTube users / Sklayelite / Button Mash Empire and / Sir Jinxable is the 3 teams for that, as you've seen. You can check that out. That should be a lot of fun. I'm interested to see what you guys say about that, seeing as how the trailer, as Krakow noted, has very little information on what shopping list actually is. So have fun with that. Lastly, this is a personal thing, but I am working on a tier list right now, and this is a gear tier list. It is basically, from an objective standpoint, from the belief that the only thing that really matters in Spiral Knights is damage. Whether you believe in that or not, that's the premise. Whether I believe in that or not, that's the premise that this tier list is being built on. For a knight who's just getting into the game, of among the swords, among the guns, among the bombs, you've been holding your breath for how long? 90 seconds?
I don't know.
Quite some time. Lord,
Is the Gunner update out?
It's not out yet, sorry.
Oh, man.
You're blue. I'm just kidding, you're not blue.
No, I'm not.
So this tier list...
Dabba-dee, dabba-die. Dabba-dee, dabba-die. I'm sorry, I had to.
Oh, goodness.
He's blue, dabba-dee, dabba-die, dabba-dee, dabba-die, dabba-dee.
I actually don't even know this reference.
I don't either.
You don't know the song? It's a song!
I do not know the song.
Of course it is.
But of course it's a song.
What isn't these days?
Alright, so anyways, So this tier list is being built. It's among each thing, like, what's the most effective for your time? Like, Voltage is good. It's nice high damage, but for someone who's starting out the game, not worth their time. It's going to be a little lower on the list compared to a Glacius or Combustor because it takes longer to get. There's going to be explanations for each of these, so if there's something you want to say about any piece of gear and say, the Callahan is awful because it doesn't do anything, or the Callahan is actually better than you think, it's better than this other gun because whatever. If you want to let me know of things for this tier list, which will appear on our website, you can email us or comment to us or anything like that and let us know what you think about. And this applies for shields, armor, helmets, all the gear, except trinkets. Anything equipable except trinkets and battle sprays. And costumes. So there you go.
Costumes.
That is, that's the show. Shouting out. I wouldn't shout out to anyone except people in Hearthstone, because again, that's all I've been playing, unfortunately. But
I'm just gonna give like a casual shout out to HRPB for finally putting up an image that does not include me looking like I'm a complete and utter creep.
Or a felon.
Yeah.
And thanks to all the people for keeping us company this week in the live stream. If you want to attend the show live, we record every Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is Greenwich Mean Time, -5. The people that joined us this week are Tavakia, Blither Paladin, Cybergrox, Goldbringer, Greenlink, HRBB, Clipic, Krakob, LS Angel, Morocco, Otis Fett, Pikachu, Lulu, our Humanity, Styxa 17, and Zeddy. So, thanks to you guys for keeping us company. We're down to 15 viewers, or 16, as opposed to 30, so people. I'll bet you it was one person who just opened 15 tabs and just did it to see what happens. That would be funny.
HRPP
Anyways.
put up another picture, and it's actually kind of cute. I find it entertaining.
This pleases me. Another.
Because it's the thing that I said.
Anyways, so I think that will do it for the show. If you want to contact us, the 3 best ways to do it is you can mail us in-game. Our Knights are Lads and Skelly, Lord Hood and Zangrius. You can email us at arsenal@skellyelite.com. At least for now. It will change. We'll let you know when it does. Or you can call us on the phones at 1-678-322-7765. You can find us on most of the social medias. I did try a bunch of devices over the last 2 weeks. I'm like, So every time I got the chance, I'd go on a computer or a device or a tablet, anything like that, and I'd search, like Arsenal Podcast and search Spotlights Nights and stuff. We appear, and our sites appear in the order that I want them to. So the website comes first, and then it goes down from there, and then the YouTube, and then other stuff. So it's like, oh good, things were working as
When I
desired.
searched Arsenal Podcast, our podcast came before like the other Arsenal podcast for the soccer team
Oh, nice.
on Google.
That's cool. I imagine it has something to do with the fact that how much can you really talk about a soccer team? I mean, really,
It's a soccer team that's not that influential, and
it's kind of true. Chanting some incantation behind the scenes there. And then lastly, you can check out youtube.com/Skelly. So actually soccer. I'm sorry, I mean football because I'm internationally aware.
Why is a football thing called the Arsenal Podcast? It doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Because the team is the Arsenal.
There's a team called.
Could be a bit more clever when you think about it.
Well, that's all. What would this podcast be called if not the Arsenal Podcast?
Because at least the Arsenal Podcast actually sounds, unique in the right.
I suppose. Impromptu contest as the outro music plays and we prepare to say goodbye to you all. If you've made it this far in the show, contact us by one of the ways we mentioned above, phone, email, or in-game, and tell us what you would call the Arsenal Podcast if we didn't have to share a name with another podcast. And we'll choose one that we like and give you some crowns-ish energy things for next week.
Throw some crowns at you.
Basically. So, we'll see how many crowns. But do it through one of those 3 ways. If you put it in the chat, if you tell us somewhere else, if you put it on our social media, sure, I guess we'll take it. Be sure to leave your IGN and all that. But let us know what the Arsenal Podcast would be called if it didn't have to share the name with an already existing soccer team.
Or they can find another soccer team name and podcast name.
Football Arsenal Podcast.
Football spelled F-U with a thingy over it.
Yeah, with 2 dots. Anyways. Alright. Thank you all for listening.
See the bottom of the comment.
This is a decently length gel. This is actually basically perfect. Let's try to end this on 1 hour exactly. How close are we to 1 hour exactly?
Thank you for listening to the Spiral Knights Arsenal podcast. This has been Zhang.
With Ladders and Sklay.
And Lord Hood.
We'll see you next time. Have a good one.
Geared up and ready to go? Thanks for listening to the Arsenal, a Spiral Knights podcast. See links and listen to previous episodes on our website, skaleli.com/arsenal. Send comments, questions, and audio to arsenal@skaleli.com or give us a call at 1-678-322-7765.